Authors. Why do readers prefer buying their books from Amazon instead of directly from you and your website? Simply put, Amazon has the it factor. Like, know, and trust. If you want to learn how to get the exact it factor that Amazon has, stay tuned to the podcast. Let's go.
NL Publishing Service Academy proudly presents Listen Up, I Got a Story to Tell podcast with literary success consultant DK Walker. Sharing with you writing tips, marketing ideas, publishing information, and inspiring interviews for your author journey. So, without further ado, let's get right into it with DK Walker.
Hey, how's it going? I'm DK Walker, and this is Listen Up, I Got a Story to Tell podcast. Man, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you are choosing to spend your time with your boy, and for that, I am eternally grateful. I'm so humbled, so humbled, so humbled. Look, before we get into today's episode, we got to pay bills off the bat. If you are a struggling author and you're having problems going from book idea to actually creating your book, I got the perfect thing for you, the absolute perfect thing for you. And what I get asked a lot is this thing for pantsers. That's for people that sit in the seat and they just freestyle they get an idea and they just sit down and start typing. To people that are planners. Now, planners outline their entire book. The unfair writing advantage serves both types of authors. If you have your pantser and you want to just go off the top of your head, what happens is your creativity is all over the place. It has no direction, so therefore it takes you longer to get where you're going to when it comes to writing your book. If you're a planner, sometimes you overplan. You get bogged down in the minute details of your book. The unfair writing advantage serves pantser and planner perfectly.
Hello, my name is Britt Kuhn, and I just love DK Walker's The Unfair Writing Advantage. I am now well on my way to writing my second book because of his advice, wisdom, tips and tricks like mind blown at how simple and easy it really, really is. I am forever grateful our paths crossed, DK. You will always be one of my favorite humans. Thank you.
Learn how to write faster, conquer writer's block, and tell a story your readers will love. In less than 1 month, writing only 3 pages daily, you can go from book idea to manuscript using the unfair writing advantage. Most authors take 8 months on average to write just 1 book. But in a fraction of that time, you will learn how to craft a book your readers will love and not be hunched over your laptop days on end to do so. Just go to www.theunfairwritingadvantage.com to see what has the self-publishing industry buzzing. Now back to the podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. Early in the show, I stated that I wanted to help authors attain the it factor that Amazon has, like, know, and trust. And I know what you're thinking. I promise you, I'm not a mind reader. I'm not Nostradamus, but I know exactly what you are thinking. You're thinking we do not have $1 billion budget behind us, so it's virtually impossible to do exactly what Amazon is doing. So first and foremost, you're wrong. Not only are you wrong, you're dead ass wrong. And here's the reason why. What Amazon is doing, they're being consistent in their messaging, and they're showing up as Amazon every time out. No deviation. They're being consistent in their messaging, and they're showing up as Amazon every time out. And that's something that you can do as an author. Now, if you have heard previous podcast episodes of mine, you may think that I'm anti-Amazon. I promise you that's not the case. If anybody could have built that model of business, they would have done the same thing, but Jeff Bezos beat us to the punch. The only problem that I do have with Amazon is that self-publishing authors do not get the largest slice of the pie when it comes to using Amazon's platform to self-publish their books. That's the only problem I have with Amazon. It doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it is what it is. Now, If Amazon gave more of the power away to the self-publishing author, I would tell people like you would be a fool to do all the groundwork when you can just upload your book to Amazon and then they got you from there. But being on Amazon, you don't see as much money as you should when you self-publish with Amazon. That's why I'm giving self-published authors alternatives to putting their books on Amazon. Now, I believe that you should use Amazon, but you shouldn't be exclusive. But getting back to the topic at hand, teaching authors how to have the it factor like Amazon. And like I said, Amazon just shows up and be who they are. They do it consistently without falter. They do it consistently. Rain, sleet, sun, snow, hail, politics, it doesn't matter. Amazon always shows up and they be who they are. Whether you're driving down the highway and you see a delivery truck, van, car, you see that logo, you see that A to Z, and then you see the smile underneath pointing from A to Z, telling you that they have everything that you want from A to Z. If you didn't know what that meant, that was the underlying message of their logo. Now, if you don't see Amazon delivery trucks, vans, cars on the highway and streets in your neighborhood, depends on what neighborhood that you live in, you're going to see their boxes. And when you see their boxes, if you're walking down the street, driving down the street, guess what you're going to see again? You're going to see that Amazon logo. No matter where you're going to, you're going to know, oh, it's Amazon. And you're like, oh, okay, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're being what they're supposed to be at. They've been consistent in their acts, meaning they're delivering packages to people's homes, making it uber convenient. And if you're thinking, how in the world can self-publishing authors do the same thing? It's not hard and it's not rocket science. I promise you that's what it's not. I honestly believe in my heart that self-publishing authors, we shy away from the work that's going to get us over the hump to making money. If we just took the time to do the things that other companies are showing us to do, we would start to make a living from our books instead of getting little to nothing. And I'm so sincere. I'm so passionate about that because I see things and I want to spread this message to my fellow self-publishing authors and let them know that you too can play with the big boys. And here's how. Here's how. I'm going to give you exactly how you, the self-publishing author, can get that like, know, and trust factor. And you don't need $1 billion budget to do it. I promise you, you don't.
Hello, my name is Britt Kuhn, author of Radiant. I am so over the moon excited that I am holding my book in my hands. And it is all thanks to DK Walker at NL Publishing Services. I promise you, I did not know how to write a book, yet here it is. Your guidance and direction during this entire process and your ability to handle my indecisiveness has been such a blessing. I am so grateful for you, and I will forever sing your praises. Thank you so much for being you, and I can't wait to work on the next one.
Writing your manuscript has been hard enough, so let NL Publishing Service Academy make self-publishing your book easy as possible. From beautifully designed full and ebook covers to uniquely done typesetting and formatting, our goal is to professionally enhance your manuscripts and book covers to give your readers the best reading experience possible. Need marketing tips, tactics, and strategies? We can help you with that. How about branding and broadening the reach of your author platform? Yep, we can help you with that too. So no matter what your self-publishing needs are, NL Publishing Service Academy has you covered. Just head over to www.nlpublishingservices.com for whatever your self-publishing needs are. And now back to the podcast.
So to get that like, know, and trust factor like Amazon has, all you have to do, my self-publishing authors, is these few things. You have to be consistent in your messaging, and your messaging has to be consistent. I'm not being deep. I'm not being none of that stuff. Like I said previous time on my past podcast, I'm not a deep dude. I'm fat, so that means I can't be deep, but I can definitely be wide. So what I'm telling you, you just have to be consistent in your messaging, and then your messaging has to be consistent. So let me go ahead and flesh it out a little bit. Let me go ahead and peel some skin off this onion so you'll see what I'm trying to show you. On wherever you at on your social media platform, no matter what genre that you're writing in, wherever I land at on your social media platform, I need to know first and foremost that you're an author. Second of all, I need to know what genre you're writing in. No matter where I may discover you at. Say if you're on TikTok and say that one of your TikToks come across my timeline, I click on it, I like it, and then I like it so much I want to go see what else that you're about. Now, as I go down your page and I look and I see something else and I click on it, it can't be from I like what I originally seen, which may have been a TikTok about why a author or a fantasy author or an erotic author. I could see that, and then I go down and I see something else, and now you're doing a trend on TikTok, but it has nothing to do about your brand. So what Amazon does, it stays true to its brand. No matter where you see Amazon at, you're going to see that logo. No matter how you flip that box over, you're going to see that logo, so you know this is Amazon. When you see that truck, that car, that van, you see the logo, it's Amazon. So authors, the first thing that you can do to get that it factor, like, know, and trust, you have to stay on brand. And by staying on brand is not necessarily your logo, it's your messaging. What are you telling your readers? Do your readers know exactly what genre you're writing in? And bigger than that, do they know that you're an author? Like, anytime that they land on any TikTok or any video, depending on what social media platform that you're using, do they know that I'm on an author's page and this is the genre that they're writing in? As soon as they land on your page, no matter how many videos they go through, they have to automatically know I'm on an author's page and this is the genre that they're writing in. Case in point, if you blindfold anybody, and I'm going to illustrate how important this is. If you were to blindfold me, put me in the back of a van, and put me in a cart, wheel me inside of Walmart, like, I don't know where I'm at, right? I'm blindfolded in the back of the doggone van, and they wheel me inside of Walmart, and you would put the doggone cart inside of Walmart, take my blindfold off, but I don't see any doggone, I don't see the word Walmart anywhere, but I'm in a Walmart aisle. I'm going to tell you I'm in Walmart. Like, if you was to do that to me and put me inside of Target and I don't see the word Target or their logo anywhere, I'm going to tell you I'm inside of Target. You can blindfold me, put me inside of McDonald's. I'm inside of McDonald's. I'm inside of Burger King. Why? Because as soon as you step foot on those premises that I named, you know exactly where you are and you know exactly what they're going to offer you. Authors, the biggest mistake I see today is that we're trying to catch all these trends and these fads, but it's not adding on to our brand and messaging. And so we're losing our readers because we don't know when our readers discovered us. And when they discovered us, they need to make sure that they're in the right place. By you doing the latest trends is not helping your brand. Like, you think about it, it's the vanity. And I get it, because quiet is kept, writing, when it's just your computer and your thoughts, unless it's a love. And I'm not talking to the authors that love what they do, but unless it's a love, it can be boring because it's just your thoughts in your computer, and you're trying to convince yourself, because you're having this ongoing conversation with yourself, that what you're doing matters, that what you're doing is going to be received well. And so it can be quite boring because it's quite tedious. When you get on social media, you see the trends and you see the numbers that the trends are getting other authors or other creators that's using that trend, and you want to do it too. But you got to ask yourself, if you decide to use a trend, here we go. If you decide to use a trend, how do you segue that trend so it's relevant to your branding, to your messaging? Ask yourself that question before you jump on the trend. Make sure that it feeds right back into you being an author in your genre. If it doesn't, or you can't do that, then don't do that trend. It's just that simple. And the reason that I'm really adamant about this, because most self-published authors, we have $0 for budget. We don't. We just don't. We do not. Our budgeting, and that's the reason that we go the organic route. There's two ways that you're going to sell your book, on social media today. That's through paid ads and organically. That means somebody's going to discover you, like your messaging, click over it and buy, or use paid ads, and then you're going to convert from there. But that's the only two ways. And majority of authors are not running ads to their books. They're not. So they're doing it organically. And quiet as kept, they're doing it wrong. So when a reader lands on your page, they got to know that, I'm in the right spot. This is where I'm supposed to be at. No matter what time of day I land on this person's page, this is where I'm supposed to be at. So to get the it factor like Amazon, you got to be consistent in your messaging, and then your messaging has to be consistent. And it may be tedious. You may not have the numbers to reflect your efforts, but don't let that stop your efforts. Don't let your vanity and your ego get in the way. Like, stay consistent no matter and I know the dollars and the data, right? I understand that. But no matter what that data looks like initially, stay the course. Because what happens is, if you get 100 people that like you and your messaging and it's relating to your book, your brand, and your authorship, instead of thousands upon thousands of people liking you for a trend. When it comes time for you to make that offering, you can depend on those people that came there for that reason than the other thousands upon thousands of people that came there because, oh, you killed it on that trend. Pardon me, it's just really just that simple. It is really just that simple. So you probably think to yourself, well, DK, how do I do this on a consistent basis? Like, I'm going to give you, I kind of stay with my hacks. I hate going on a ramble and don't give you a hack in the process. So let me give you a hack, one of the easiest ways that I believe to be consistent in your messaging and for your message to be consistent. Look, no matter where you are at right now, I'm pretty sure that you're writing something, that you're working on something, that there's a work in progress. The easiest way to stay consistent via social media to get your message out there so people can know, like, and trust you, you got to use this one thing that people are so guilty of to your favor, to your benefit. People by nature is nosy. Like, people by nature are nosy. Like, they just very nosy, inquisitive. Let me be politically correct. They're inquisitive beings. And since they're inquisitive beings, you have to use that to your benefit. And I'm going to give you the easiest way to do that. But it's up to you to do what? Stay consistent with what I'm about to share with you. The easiest way to take advantage of people being nosy is to document your writing process. No matter where you at, if you already started your book, maybe if you 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 page, doesn't matter where you at, start. As soon as you hear me giving you this advice, it's like, I don't know what times that you write at, but as soon as you are done writing for the day, either, and it depends on, and it doesn't matter what platform that you're on or whether you have the capability to go live or not, but as soon as you're done writing, do a recap of what you wrote. I don't want to hear about, I don't want to hear no excuses about, I don't look good on camera, it's going to be boring. Don't y'all know that documentaries make a lot of money and people tune in to documentaries by the boatload? Like, there's so many people want to know behind the scenes. Why? Because they nosy. So many things have been discovered throughout this great planet of ours because somebody had, pardon my language, had the balls to take a risk. That element of the human persona hasn't gone anywhere. Humans by nature need to know. Even when it should be none of their business, they just need to know. And your readers are no different than the rest of us. They need to know. So just think how easy it would for them to become part of your growing community if they start to know you intimately, to share your journey. And I know what you're thinking, what happens if I don't write every day? Okay, cool. You would still either go live, make a video, and you would share why you didn't write every day. I didn't write because my kids are getting on my nerves. I didn't write because I had to work overtime. I didn't write. It doesn't matter the reason. Just share. And they're like, oh, okay. Because the same thing that's going on in you, the author lives, is going on in your readers' lives. And it makes you that much more relatable. Like, just do a quick recap. And I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. And I'm going to get out of here, right? Amazon has the it factor, and that it factor is know, like, and trust. You self-publishing authors can have the same it factor, and you don't have to have a $1 billion budget, right? Know, like, and trust. Show up every day on your choice of social media platform and document what you're doing writing-wise, and do a recap. As soon as you're done writing your last word, don't get up, don't go use the bathroom. Why? Because this stuff is still fresh in your mind, so it's easy to give that information or give that process. So as soon as you wrote your last word, you grab your phone, you take it off Do Not Disturb, which you should be on. You take it off Do Not Disturb, and then you go, like I said, live, or you make a quick doggone video. Do not worry about the numbers. I don't care if you got 5, 6, 7, 8. However long it takes, those numbers are going to grow. Those numbers are going to grow. And when it comes time for you to sell your book, you know that you have now formulated a community that's going to buy your book. Why? Because they was with you on the journey. Everybody loves behind the scenes. Like, everybody loves the behind the scenes stuff. Why do you think that YouTube is littered with people that love the MCU and they look for Easter eggs and they break it down? Now, I'm going to give you the hidden stuff, the behind the stuff, the stuff you wasn't looking for. Why do you think that when they release movies, streaming-wise, the director gives the director cut, or they give the play-by-play or overview on why they shot that scene or why they did things the way that they did, and that is just as popular or even more so than the movie itself? Why? Because people want to know behind-the-scenes stuff, and others, you can do this, no budget, costs you nothing but time. It costs you nothing but your most valuable asset, but you're taking that most valuable asset and you're pretty much ensuring that you're going to sell most books because you was willing to give up some of your time in a productive manner instead of thinking like, oh, I got to kill it with trends, and instead of thinking that, wow, I gotta really grow, like it would be nice to have great numbers across social media, but it's better to have a community that's there for you and what you're eventually going to sell them than having a large number of people that like you for what you do because of a trend. That's just my two thoughts, people. Like, it is what it is, was. It's going to be what it's going to be. Look, it's your boy DK Walker. Do me a huge favor. No matter what platform you may be listening to this on, share it with a fellow author. If you found any value at all with what I've given you today, share it with a fellow author. Now, if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts, leave me a review. Yo, and with that being said, I love you guys. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all chose to rock with your boy one more time, and for that I am eternally grateful. And before I go, let me do another recap on top of my recap. You can do the same thing that Amazon does. Just be consistent. Just be consistent, and when a person lands on whatever social media platform that you're using, then it has to be, I'm on an author's page, and this author writes in this genre. Forget the numbers, forget all that. If you just get a couple of people consistently watching you, that number will grow. I promise you that. And if you're thinking like, oh, I'm not going to be entertaining, the information itself is the entertainment. Look, I'm out of here, man. I gave y'all so much game today, man. Like, this record this on a Sunday. NFL players about to start, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I love y'all to life, and I will catch y'all next week by the grace of God. Peace.
This episode of Listen Up, I Got a Story to Tell podcast has ended. But please be sure to subscribe for more literary strategies and tactics to help you create the profitable, successful author career you've always wanted. And don't forget to rate and leave a review so we can continue to bring you the best author and book-related content. See you on the next episode.